Okay, that's it. Okay, so yeah, that's brief videos about cultures and cross cultures awareness. After watching that video, do you have any comments? Any comments?
I think it's real interesting when we can learn a lot of different culture.
Yeah, a lot of culture, right? So it's interesting, right? So
Yes, sir.
there's no problem. You're not facing any challenge, right?
Right, sir.
It's all of the positive thing. Do you think?
Yes,
Okay.
we can
Right.
learn more of positive things.
Mm-hmm. More a positive thing. Okay, nice. So in that, do you also learn any other things like any differences it has and how you solve it? Did you notice? S- It means that when you are going to another country, right? Is it the same thing that you are facing in your culture, or it is a different thing? And how you can, adapt to that, or how you can be successful, or you can working in that new environment, new culture, or you are behaving, the same way you are in your culture, in your country. Is it the case? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Any comment on that?
I
Mm-hmm.
think we have to change our mindset to think about that we are
Mm-hmm.
from different culture and we have to open mind to agree with what they other culture be and what our culture be.
Mm-hmm. Okay, nice. Yeah, that's great. So open-minded, right, is an important thing, right? When you are going outside, right? Supposing that you are at home, you can do, you can behave any way you want, right? But when you are get out of your house, right? The new environment there, and you are, you know, you are in front of many people, right? People are watching at you, and you are behaving not the same way, you know, in compare with when you are inside your room, right? When you are inside your house, it's also the same case, right? When you're in Thailand, you you are living with your friends, you are living with your families, right? You can behave the way you like, right? The way you and your friend and your families are very familiar with, right? But when you are moving away from Thailand to Indonesia, right? You fly there. So when you are at the airport, everything changed now, right? You are just at the door of your house, and you see that the color is different, the way people wearing their clothes different, the way people talking to each other is different, right? and you are, you know, just different in front of them, and people would, uh, they might still they might be, kind of more interested in you, than, you are going to the market in Thailand. No one is just, looking at you like the way, Indonesian might look at you when you're in at the airport, right? Something like that, because you're, very familiar with your market. But when you're going to Indonesia, yeah, people might find something interesting, from the way you wearing, from the way you speaking, and from the way you behaving in general, right? So that is what you can feel for yourself, right? When you're in that new environment. Yeah. So what the message I wanted to let you keep in mind is that be also self-conscious, conscious, okay, about yourself whenever you are doing something, right? And when you are moving from your culture to other cultures, be also always, think about yourself, conscious about your cultures, your behavior, and you can see that there are many things you can learn from that. Okay. So we are going to this today's contents about the another side of cross culture communications. we are we have a study about communication, right? What is the communications? um, what is the process we might, experience during our communication when two people talking with each other, right? We have sender, we have receiver. Yeah, that's and I can see that you can understand about that from what uh, you have readings in your homework and your weekly report. That's nice. And I can also see that there's cooperation and collaboration between many of you, right? In groups, in pairs, yeah, and alone. That's great. And that is about communication, right? And now for today, we are going to discuss more and we are going to explore more about the other definition, which is very important things, cultures. The one that is you feel like very familiar, right? The one that you feel like it's very easy, to understand, and you might like take it for granted, right? It's there, it's already there. Thai cultures, Indonesian cultures, it's there, and we all have it, and we all feel like we all understand it. Okay, but let's see how much you understand about that, and you might find it more um, something more interesting about it from the position of defining culture, right? So now for this session we are going to define culture. What is culture, and what are the process that involves culture, right? Like when you're going to the next to another culture, what is the process would happen, right? Like, do you still behave the same way, or you're going to behave differently, or what is the process is going to happen when you move to another culture, right? And moreover, there's also many kinds of uh, types of cultures, from the culture like from the from Asia's to Western cultures. You might also notice, some differences between this kind of culture, right? Western people, what do they often behave, and ASEAN culture, Asian cultures, what do they often behave, right? And many other more. So before starting with the definition of cultures, I would like you to give the answer for these four brief questions first. Okay, a five brief question. Can you click on the link I provided in the chat box the message and just give a very quick reflection or answers about the definition of cultures, right? Answer this question. First, what is cultures from your opinion, right? In your opinion, what is culture? As simple as one, two sentence, no less than five sentence, okay? Just give a very brief and easy understanding about what is culture, okay? And the second question, what are different types of culture, or what does cultures have? What type of culture, right? How many types of people, how many types of culture do you think we have in our world, around the world, right? How many types of culture? Classified it. Three, what are the characteristics of culture? Okay, so when you think that it it is Indonesian culture, it is Thai cultures, how do you what how do you think that they are different from each other, or what are the characteristic, right, that makes Indonesian culture or Thai cultures different from each other, or what is the process, what are the main characters that one culture need to have so that it can be a culture. So to be more specifically, like when you define um, a phone, right? When you define a phone, a mobile phone, from whether this is a phone, you need some kind of definition. Oh, the the phone is what? Is a machine, right? Is a device. Yeah, that is the definition. And the what is characteristic of the phone that make it different from, for example, um, a a book, right? So what's the difference between these two that makes the phone is the phone and the book is the book? Okay, so that is a characteristic of what we call culture. So what is the main characteristic of culture? You need to understand this as well. So uh, you can just first answer the question, okay, and then I will explain later. The fourth question is choose one word, okay? Let's choose one word only that describe the strength of your culture for communication, okay? What do you think your cultures has strength that help you, you know, be successful or communicate better in conversation, in communication with other people from other culture, right? That is the fourth question. The fifth question is choose one word as well about the weakness. Now we come to the weakness. The fourth question is about strength, right? One word about the strength. For example, what is the strength of Thai people, right? When they have communication with Indonesian, what is the strength? And what is the weakness? So when you have a communication with a foreigners, what is your weakness and what is your strength from the aspect of culture, right? Like you're good at smiling, or it might help people to draw attraction, or it can make people feel like you are very friendly or something like that. And what about the weaknesses, right? That can help, that can make you difficult to communicate with other people. And for the rest, question is just comments if you have, right? Apart from the the five questions above, if you have other comments, if you have question, if you have any recommendation, yeah, feel free to put it in the six. It is not necessary. So basically, I would like you to answer five questions. Okay, define cultures. Think about what type of culture might have, and what as the characteristic that make its culture, right? Weaknesses of your culture and strength of your culture. Okay, you have about 3 to 5 minutes to answer this question. Okay, in the form that I provided in the chat box, please click on that if you don't know where it is. Okay, we have 3 minutes. So there's no wrong, right? No wrong answers and no completely correct answer. So just answer give your question from how you understand that. Is it difficult? If you have any comments or opinion, yeah, feel free to raise. Ok นะให้ตอบคำถามนะฮะคำถามแรกคือว่าวัฒนธรรมคืออะไรนะครับให้คำนิยามสั้นๆนะครับคำถามที่สองคือว่าวัฒนธรรมเนี่ยมีประเภทไหนบ้างนะประเภทของวัฒนธรรมคำถามที่สามคือวัฒนธรรมเนี่ยที่สิ่งที่เราเรียกว่าวัฒนธรรมเนี่ยมีลักษณะอะไรบ้างนะที่บ่งบอกว่านั่นเป็นวัฒนธรรมนะครับสี่คือว่าเลือกหนึ่งอย่างที่บ่งบอกว่าเนี่ยวัฒนธรรมไทยเรามีจุดแข็งอย่างไรช่วยให้คุณเนี่ยทำให้คุณเนี่ยสามารถนะฮะทำการติดต่อสื่อสารเนี่ยอย่างสะดวกสบายรู้สึกว่ามั่นใจหรือว่ารู้สึกว่าเราได้เปรียบตอนที่เรามีการติดต่อกับต่างชาติหรือติดต่อกับประเทศอื่นเนี่ยเรามีจุดแข็งอะไรนะในแง่ของทางวัฒนธรรมนะครับคำถามที่ห้าคือว่าจุดอ่อนจุดอ่อนของวัฒนธรรมของเราที่เราอยากเปลี่ยนแปลงนะคืออยากรู้ว่ามันเป็นจุดอ่อนแล้วอยากให้พัฒนาดีขึ้นหรือว่าทำไมดีขึ้นนะครับ Okay, nice. So there's some answer now. That's great. Okay, before I read it, anyone want to say something? Yeah, if you want. Yeah, feel free to click on raise your hand. Okay, raise hand, and then you can start. In the meantime, I would like to read some of the answers that we have here. Interesting. So firstly, about the definition of culture, right? They said that is the characteristics and knowledge of a particular group of people. Okay, nice. It including characteristic, right, and knowledge, and that is belong to a particular group of people. Okay, and others say culture is a pattern of life and manifestation of human intellectual achievement from social groups. Okay, that is very general, right? Very normative things, and it reflects that your friend is like have read something before, I think. Okay, Adi, can you share your opinion?
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Okay. My opinion is culture
Mm-hmm.
is a pattern life, and
Mm-hmm.
is it manifestations of human intellectual achievements, which
Mm-hmm.
is like
Okay.
artifact from their intellectual humans
Mm-hmm.
or ideas,
Okay.
and then from a social groups.
Okay. Nice. So, can you give an example?
From the example, the culture from my place is a mutual help,
Mm-hmm.
which mean it could be a symbolized from my place.
Mm-hmm.
Mutual help is a my culture,
Mm-hmm.
and is a manifestations of every person's in my place.
Okay. Okay. That's nice. So, mutual help, right, is one things about your culture, right, and that reflects, right, the what you mentioned is the one pattern of life and the Indonesian intellectuals achievement from your Indonesian social groups, right, that reflects about your culture. Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I believe I also agree that yeah, that is one of the factors or what that is manifestation of culture. And in the case of Indonesian, yeah, mutual help might be the case. Very good. And for others, intelligent, masterpiece of mind. Culture is a habit, how to greeting, how to do something in general. Okay, that's also one of the things. Culture is a characteristic of the native. Okay, art, social institution. Okay, also that's one of that. Life tradition, identity of a country, a customs. Okay, a distinctive way of life. Okay, nice. Yeah, of course, that is some of the case. Okay, we stop at this first its first answer. Okay, so that we can go right back to our definition before we move to the second question. Before that, I saw Natapon is raising hand. I think. Yeah, do you want to share something?
Did you share your screen?
Yeah, sure. Are you now seeing the slide presentation now?
I'm not, so I have to
blur
cut.
sir.
Okay, I already saw it.
Okay, let me share it again. Okay, okay. Can you share? Can you see it now? The presentation.
Yes,
Okay, nice.
thank you.
Okay, okay. So we have just looked at the first question, right? And your first for and your answers to that question, and we can see that people might give different definitions about what we call culture, right? We cannot see one person give like two people or many people give one definition, or the same definition to culture. You can see, for example, as Adi, right, said that culture is a pattern line and manifestation of intellectuals and achievement from social group. While others say culture is characteristics of knowledge of a particular group of people. Others say culture is characteristic of native. And others say culture is the identity of country or a custom. So you see, no clear definition, right? No opinions share the same definition, right? It also means that we have many differences, right? And we see one thing from many different angle, right? Only one thing. You feel like that one thing should have one definition, right? But actually, no, right? Another point. Do you want to say anything?
Uh, I can hear you clearly. Can you check
Okay.
your signal first?
All right. So for others, do you hear me clearly? Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, I hear you clearly.
Okay, so can you check from your side another point? I think it's from your side.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, never mind. Okay, you can see right up. Okay, for other, please open your camera so that I can see you as well. That is what I wanted to let you know. Okay, after you doing this first activity, you can see to define one thing. It is easy for one person, but to define one thing that is that can receive comments, that can receive acceptance of other, is another problem. you know for you yourself, you can define conscious the way you think, the way you give it meaning, but when other people define it, it'll be another thing, right? And when you understand that the way people define it, it might not the conscious that you often think, right? Because it's not the same definition, right? Yeah. So that is okay. So it doesn't mean that your definition is wrong, or it doesn't mean that your friend's definition is wrong. It doesn't make sense to decide which is right, which is wrong, in this sense. But it just reflects, or it just shows that we have many differences. Even Indonesians students also give different definition of culture. You see, even you are from same culture, but you still define cultures differently, right? And of course, if Thai student define culture, yeah, the differences might might be the case. It's very understandable. But the one thing is very interesting is that even students from the same cultures also define cultures differently. You know, that is what you have to keep in mind when you are um, have a communication with someone, right? It doesn't. You shouldn't take for granted that you are from the same culture and you are seeing thing the same way. It doesn't like that. It doesn't as simple like that. Okay. Even you are from Thailand together, but you also see things differently. That is very basic things, understandable for a society. That's the way culture is born. Culture is born even inside the one culture. You know, even in Thailand, it doesn't just mean that Thai has only one culture. You know, Thai have other subculture as well that you don't, sometimes you don't really realize. You just call that Thai culture, but it is subculture. You know, it's also the same thing like Indonesian, right? Indonesian is very famous for diversity. So yeah, it's much more identifiable, right? You might notice that there's Japanese culture, there's Aceh culture, and other places. So Indonesian culture is not just one, but many other subcultures together as well, right? So from that point of position, yeah, let's have a look at some pictures, and I think that it can help you to understand better about cultures, right? So these are three pictures. The one that in the left is, as you can see, right? What that first pictures tell you? The first on the left, what does it tell you about culture? Yeah. Anyone have any comments? Feel free to raise. Yeah. hmm Anyone? Um, other like any other else? Rita, do you have any comments?
Yeah, I think from the last one,
hmm
there is that in this world actually we live inside of so many cultures. So,
I, mm,
but but is but that is the point. How
mm-hmm,
one can be polite.
mm-hmm. Okay, I cannot hear very clearly. But okay, at least you gave some comments about how it looks, right? Um, what I want you all of you to see is that from the first pictures on the left, right, you saw many people, right, holding hand with each other, right, and how they look is important, right? They are look differently, right? No one wearing the same kind of clothes, right? That is about differences or cultures of you know dressing, right? Dressing culture. You wearing differently. That might be one things that make you a different culture, right? But they are standing in the same place. That is our globe, right? Our world. We are living in our earth. We're living in the same place. Okay. How about Margareta? Margareta, you want to say something? Yes.
Yes. Am
Nice.
I audible?
Sure.
Okay. From the picture, I think culture born in society and uh, culture in one society and the other one is really different. And we cannot limit the culture uh,
Mm-hmm.
only about the product or art, but
Yeah.
even jokes. It's really opened my eyes that jokes it included in culture. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you.
Yeah. Sure. Sure. Yeah. That's correct. That's correct. That's nice. Okay. How about risky, right? Risky.
Yes.
Yeah. Please.
Is my sound here?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I can hear you.
From these pictures, yes, from these pictures, I see that many people becomes one. So I conclude that culture is masterpiece of
Uh-huh. Masterpiece, right? Culture is a masterpiece.
masterpiece of mind. So a culture is also diversity things that becomes one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it means that you are expecting that cultures are
That's
uniting
all, sir.
to be the one, right? You are expecting culture united
Like
with each
that.
other to be the one, right? All right. That's great. That's great comment. Yeah, that's correct. That is one of the things you will find later about the process that is happening with culture, and it is the what we call work culture, right? People are heading toward work culture or not. That is the question you might some people might have in their mind. Okay, before we go into that, yeah, I also want you to look at the second and the third pictures, right? And have any comments if you like. There are many other things, and there are words there. So I think that you can now have a better understanding, or have a better ideas about culture, right? Anyone wanted to say something when you see the second and the third pictures with some word now? Can you see the words? I think you can, right? Yeah. Feel free to click on raise hand if you like. You wanted to um, give any comments, right? Okay. Type student. Do you want to get something? Anyone? Just give any comments that you want. Use what you see from the two picture, right? And do you agree with that, or do you want to say something more? Yeah, it's fine. Okay, anyone? Okay, again, right? Adi, right? Yeah, please.
Okay, I will give my opinion that I
Mm-hmm.
think culture is an art creativity product
Mm,
that
okay.
born in some society.
Mm-hmm.
Main point is an art creativity product. So
Okay.
will burn in it could produce some language and then jokes and then clothes and in
Okay.
everyone.
Yeah, I see. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting that you have an idea about what it calls culture is creativity, right? And creativity is something like art and other kind of things, right? Risky, right? Risky, want to say anything?
Yes, I
Yeah,
think my ideas about it are just two ideas.
sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, the first idea is about diversity, and the
Diversity.
second is unity.
Okay, nice. Okay, that's very good. That is the slogan of Indonesian, right? And yeah, that is a very typical words that you can say about culture, right? Very easily. On one side, culture is there's many diversity, right? And on the other side, we can see unity, and we can expect unity among these diversity, right? So that we can still enjoy diversity, but we can avoid, kind of differences and conflicts, that might happen, that might raise when we have diversity, right? Because when we have many diversity, it means that it might cause some differences and it might cause some conflicts, right? When we have some communication with each other, right? Yeah, that might be the case. Okay, that's good. Um, that's good. And we will go into the definition of culture soon. Uh, and regarding these two pictures, I just want you to keep in mind that culture is just it's not the same thing that we as a member of the society understand, right? We understand culture from different point of view, right? Different people have understand about culture differently, and different cultures understand cultures at different degree, right? We do not understand one thing the same way as other, as long as that one thing is still that one thing. It's not one thing, only one thing, but people understand it differently because you are from different cultures and you are holding different cultural values. That is one of the case. And so regarding to this, first, culture might means that people wearing different clothes, right, in the first pictures, but we are still living in the same place, whether it is in Indonesia or whether it is in ASEAN. We're still in the same place, at different degree. If you wanted to look at it, right, you might look at it that we are living in Surabaya together. But when you are look beyond Surabaya, you might say we are living in the same place in Indonesia, right? And when you look it beyond it, you'll say we are living in the one place as ASEAN that we call, right? And if you are a global, or if you are thinking like a global citizen, you might say, no, we're just not living in one place as Surabaya or Indonesia, but we are living in one earth together, right? One earth together, and we are having world culture together. So there's something common, right? And there is differences depending on the way you see the world, right? When you're seeing that the world is about Surabaya and the rest of the world, so that is just Surabaya cultures and the rest of the world. But when you are seeing that it is Indonesian and the rest of the world, so that is the difference only between Indonesian and the rest of the world, right? But when you are seeing that it is world culture, so you don't have to see much differences anymore, right? Just one thing. And when other people see the same way like you are, it might come together to be the same thing at that time. Okay. So until we reach to what we call world culture, when people look at themselves as global citizen, right? Seeing them as global people, so we still see differences and we can still define cultures differently, like we define other things differently. We define phone differently. You might not see the same definition when you ask two people or you ask 10 people. No one give us the same definition, right? Unless they read the same text. But if they give comment, they give their own opinion, that might not be the case that they might give one same answer, right? So that is what we are going to see. And the second thing is that what is culture? Culture has many aspects, right? It's not just about how we wear our clothes, right? How we dressing, how we dress, but there are other things as well. As artists say, right? It's also about art, right? It also about arts. It also about something creativities like um, what you call like folk arts, right? Language, jokes, humors, and other things. And the easy thing is food, right? Many people like food when they are going to different country, and like people coming to Thailand and like food very much. So what they can notice that is the culture is about food. Yeah, easy way how we eat, right? That is it. And the third picture is also the same thing, but we look at from something more realistic, right? We are not seeing cartoons holding hands. We are seeing real people. Now we are seeing real people, and we can feel like something real, much real than the rest, right? And it connected to something that is also very close to you as well, like nationality, right? It's just not about food anymore. It is about nationality, about what we call the countries that we're living in. A very something like very sacred, something very big. People love it. People, from different generation have built it, give it to you, and you are also trying to protect it and uh, celebrate together, right? Something like that. And also region, religions, or race, right? Gender, sexual orientation, class. This also help us define how one cultures might look like, right? People, different cultures might, have a different attitude towards sexual orientation, right? For some culture, people, there's many kind of, third sex, right? It's be fine. It's not a big problem that we have other kind of, sexual orientation rather than just women and men or male and female, right? And they might accepting that or they might rejecting this. But that is one thing that is different between culture. Okay. So there are some other things you can keep in mind. Other things might be also like religion, right? Different country have might have different religions, but it doesn't mean that the same countries might have one religion, right? That is okay. You are in a Buddhist countries like Thailand, right? But you are also have some small group of people inside Thailand are Muslim, right? Particularly in Nakhon Si Thammarat, many peoples are Muslim. It's not just only Buddhist, right? And also in Indonesian, I believe, right? And of course, I think there are many other religion as well, not only just Muslim, right? That's the case. So religions might also create one kind of culture that cross the border. You know, when Indonesian had look outside of Indonesian, right? They might, some people might look to Islamic countries first, right? When they are choose to going study abroad, they might choose some Islamic countries first as their first priority. Why? That's very simple question, right? Very simple understanding, a very simple way to explain about that. It's not something that is spontaneous, not something personal, but it is cultures as well in some respect, right? It's also the same. Like when you are when Thai people, right? When Thai people, if you are looking some places to go to, like for example, settle down their life, right? You can decide it from many different aspects for economic purpose, for other things like quality of life or etc. Right? But if you just put the economic needs away, which country you like to settle down your life? The question would also be the same to Indonesian. What, which country would you like to, settle down your life apart from Indonesia? So you might have some choice already in your mind, right? And of course, that choice reflects your culture. That choice tell us that you prefer some place than other, right? Because of who you are, about because of who you are, not because of that place, what that place is, but because of who you are. Because you are Muslim, that's why you choose Muslim countries. Because you are like you are very you have a very free style, you have a liberalist, so you like the United States, right? You like to live in a free countries, or something like you are very conservative, you are very tradition, and you respect something like conventional, traditional. You might prefer Asia rather than modern or cosmopolitan cities, right? It might be something like that. So that is some of the example for you. Okay. So we move to the definition, right? So the basic and simple definition for this is cultures consist of how we relate to other people. Okay. Culture, it consists of how, or culture is the way where we relate to each other. Something connects us together, right? Something connects us together, or we relate ourselves to other people, right? Something like when you are thinking about Indonesian culture, right? What makes you relate to other Indonesian, right? Compare with what you relate to Thai people, right? That makes Indonesian culture the same thing, different from Thai culture, right? That is the definition. What the definition trying to say? It's very a bit normative, but to put it simply, culture is how we relate ourselves to other people of the same culture, right? Of the same thing. We feel the same thing like they feel. And how we behave, how we view the world. So we behave the same way with those people we relate to. We see the world the same way, in many respect to other with other people that we call we're in the same culture. We see the world the same way. So that we can define that this group of people are belonging to one united culture, right? That is okay. So that is the definition of samovar in 2017. A very basic one that you can understand about culture. And there are many other types of culture, right? We will go right back to that point later. Okay. And other definitions, I will put more on this before we go into the types of cultures. Okay. That is, other people also define like culture serve to structure a society, pass on the how hard learned knowledge and experience of different generations. So, what does it mean about this definition is that cultures have some kind of function, the function of culture, right? When we have something in common, that common thing help you to structure your society, that help you to build your what we call country, right? When we have like Indonesian culture, it help you to build the Indonesian country. It help you to structure the society, what we call Indonesian society, right? How one person, Indonesian person, relate to one family, one Indonesian friend, one Indonesian family that you belong to, right? And how that one family, one Indonesian family relate to other families inside Indonesia, right? It also the same thing. Like uh, Thai cultures is something that help Thai people to structure Thai society. It helped Thai people to build Thai society. Help Thai people to build Thailand as a country, right? And not just that, cultures is also something that pass from generation to generation. It means that culture is not there. It's not the new thing that you get it or you create it when you are born, but it's already there before you born. Okay, Indonesia, Indonesian culture is not born when you are born, but it's born before you are born, right? Even before that. So your parents, your forefather, and your grandparents create something already, and that they pass to you. They give it to you when you are born, right? And when you're born and you're grown up, you also create more, you also improve, or you also continue Indonesian culture so that you can give that one to your children. So it means that you receive this one from your parents, from your grandparents. And you are not only just receiving it, using it, but you also putting more thing inside it, right? You're putting more thing inside it, right? So that you can have many things inside it, which is very, diverse. And then you put it in the box, right? For example, like this, it's too big. And you gave it to your student, your children, right? Okay, let you see the what I wanted to explain, right? Before in sharing the presentation, what I just explained is that this is for look at this, right? This black one as the culture, as simple as that. Can you see my? Oh, you don't see my camera, right? Okay, look at this. Now you can see, right? Okay, nice. Okay, you can look at this black one, right? It's black as culture that help you relate yourself to other people. People also see at this, think about this, and felt like they relate to you because of this, right? Uh, Take a very easy example. When you look at the national flag, right? The national flag, like Indonesian national flag. Let me just make it easy for you. Uh, when you see the national flag of Indonesia or Thailand, right? What do you feel? What do you feel when you see it? Do you think that do you feel that you are relating yourself with other people? Do you feel can you feel that? Right? I think you can feel that, right? That when you're looking at the flag, and you can feel like, yeah, I belong to that. I belong to that. Even that it's just just a sheet, just a very kind of cloth, just a cloth with colors, nothing else, right? From the eyes of a producer, it is just a cloth, right? Rectangular cloth with color. But when you look into that, right, when it is erecting upwards, looking at that national flag, you feel like, yes, you belong to something. You belong to something. And you also think of other people the same way if they are also looking into that flag and related themselves to other people who share the same thing, right? So yeah, that is what we call the things like cultures, as I mentioned here. Supposing that this is what we call national flag, or that's a black one as culture, and you receive it from your parent, right? You're born today. You're born, right? You are just a baby. You don't know anything at all, right? You're just crying all the time, right? That is you do when you're born, right? No one smiling. You're just crying because you don't know what it is, right? And then you're growing up and you just receiving this black box from your parents, right? People, your parents give you something like words, right? They speak to you. They give you food, the food that Indonesians often eat during the meals, right? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you are eating the same kind of food, right? And also the same kind, like in Thailand, they don't just speak in Thai language, right? They giving Thai food, and that is the back box that I meant. Okay, and you're receiving it because it already there when you're born. It's not just that you're creating that black box, right? But when you're growing up, you're putting things inside this, right? You're putting more and more and more, right? You're putting more. And when you're creating more, you are also create the bigger and different black box, gave it to your children, right? Your children also uh, do the same thing, right? Receiving it, creating it, enhance it, or changing it, and that is what we call culture, man. So this thing help you to relate to each other, and we feel that we are from the same family, we are from the same society. Okay, Margareta, do you have any comments? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I can summarize that one person and another have different culture, although they are family or one group.
uh, yeah, what I want to explain to you is that when you are felt like you relate to each other by something, that is also mean that you are belonging to one thing, what we call culture. Okay, so if you are from the same family, right, when you look at something and you relate to each other, or when you thinking about something and you relate to each other, that is mean you are belong to that family. And the bigger thing would be grown up, right? When you are in the same like province, right? You feel that you relate to each other by some way. The language you say, right? The food you eat. So that means that you are sharing the same culture, right? And it that culture help your family, your province to build the province structure, the family structure, right? It defines that who is the father, who is the mother, who is the children, right? It helps not only to relate to each other, but it also helps to define the role of each other, right? The role of each other. And that is what I call is structure of a society, right? As a second definition, it culture help to structure the society. Okay, and the third thing is that structure culture is passed from your parent to you and from you to your children in the future. So it is something that is passed on and passed on. So you cannot call something that created now but ended here. It it ends without continuation. It cannot be culture. Okay, as we might think. It should be something that you receive from the parent from the past and you have it now and you also continue to give it for the next generation. Okay, that's how it should be. And it might be knowledge, the knowledge that your parents find it very hard to learn, to get it, and that is a good lesson that they have, the failure that they have experienced and give teaching to you or uh, convey in many other ways. Okay, that is the second definition. And the third definition is also like culture is a group of worldview, the way of organizing the world that a particular society has created over time. Yeah, similar to the second one. It means that you share the same worldview, right? A similar one, not the same, identical, right? Identically, but similar one. And then it help you to organize the world. It help the culture help your family to organize your family, right? How people would behave to each other. Like in Thailand, right? When the children meet their parents, they need to why, right? They need to say some greeting. Um, that is the case, uh, and also when you are seeing some kind of like the president, right? They're also of the country or the prime minister of the country. You're also in behaving in some way, right? That is different from other countries. That is the culture that we're talking about. And the third definitions that you should keep in mind is that culture is ongoing negotiation of learned and patent beliefs, attitudes, values, and behaviors. So, in two definition, you can see that they say culture is something like values, culture values, right? Culture is something like behaviors, right? Culture is something like beliefs. Culture is something like attitudes, your attitude towards something. And it is an ongoing process. That is the negotiation between what you have learned and what you are doing already. It is a bit more difficult to understand, but it is very simple as like this. Um, I'll take an example. It means that culture is belief. Like you believe in uh, Buddhist, right? You believe in uh, Islamic lore, something like that. Is belief, right? And it is an ongoing learn and pattern. It means that when you are believe in Islamic lore and Buddhist teaching, you are keeping practicing it, right? Day by day, day by day. It's an ongoing process, right? And you learn from it as well. So when you're practicing, you also learn from that belief. You learn from the teaching. So that is about how we define culture, right? Culture is how we relate to other people of the same culture, about what we think, what we believe, and what we view the world. Culture help us to build our family, build our society, and build our country. And it is something that we learn from our parents from the past, and we are practicing it and gave it to our children. Okay, as simple as that. So that is what I meant to about culture. Now I'm going to share the presentation again. Okay, now you can see, right? The Indonesian, the Thai flag, right? You see that is Thai flag. And when Indonesians see this, you don't have much thing to be kept in your mind, right? When you see this picture, right? You do not really felt you like Vita. When you look at this picture, you might not feel very related to Adi, right? Or Rizki, right? Three of you, when you look at this picture, you don't feel like you're related to it, right? You don't feel like you related to other friends like Vita to Adi and Rizki to Vita. So you don't relate to each other for this picture, right? But when other people like Fadlina, right? Fadlina, Lalita, right? Natapon. When you see this picture, what do you feel? Can you give me your what do you feel? Natapon, Piyanut, Lalita, Fadlina. How do you feel when you see this picture? Uh,
It relate to my nation.
mhm. How do you feel? When you are, how you feel about Lalita? How you feel about Pianut when seeing this picture? How do you feel? Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Related to Thai people, right? And you feel like you are close to Natapon than Vita, right? You feel like you are very close to Natapon, right? The Vita or Adi, and also the same case, right? Even that you are living in different house, right? You're living in different place. Yeah, Vita might live farther than Natapon uh, from Fadlina. But you know what I mean is that you are living in different location, right? You're not in the same, but you are feeling differently just because of you looking at one picture. Yeah, you can see. Okay, now I turn this one to this one, right? Now I turn this one to this one. Okay. Now, how do you feel now? How do you feel now, Natapon and Fadlina, Ianut, Lalita? How do you feel now when you see that picture? How do you feel?
It relate to Indonesia.
Just Indonesia, right? But do you feel like you are related to Indonesian country, or do you feel like you are related to a person named like Margareta, or you know, uh, Jokowi? Do you think you're related to him? You?
It's deeply related to Indonesia.
Yeah. So that is what I want to help you understand, right? When you are when other culture, right, look at something, they might not feel any relation, right? They don't feel anything. But when it is a case of like Adi, right? When Adi look at this picture, how do you feel? And how do you relate it to like Vita, Margareta, right? And Jokowi? How do you feel? Yeah? Can you share something?
Yeah, I feel so related to my
Hmm.
country, and it's deeply related to uh, Indonesian culture, red and
Hmm.
white, and describe the nationality of
Yeah.
Indonesia. Yeah,
Yeah, nice, nice. Okay, yeah, that is what I wanted to tell you, right? So that is two things, right? And now you see two picture now, right? So when you look at these two picture, people would relate differently, right? Now we have two picture now, and you can relate to some by seeing at this picture, but different people might relate themselves to different things, right? By seeing on the same picture. Like Adi, right? When you look in that this picture, you might focus more on the right side and felt like you more related to the right side, right? The right picture. Why um, uh, Lalita, right? Lalita look at this picture, right? And she might felt more related, more close, right? Closer to the left picture, right? Just two pictures, and you feel related to it, and that is called culture. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, right, and that is about culture. Now, before we are moving to more detail, I think we can do some kind of activity first that might make you understand better about culture. All right. Um, okay. This one, we are going to define cross-cultural communication soon. By saying that, okay. Now we're doing a very simple activity. Which ASEAN country do you think they are from? Now you can put in your answer. Uh, you can notice your country or not. Okay, let's count from this one, right? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Okay, from the left side uh, to the right side, right? Can you realize your people from your country? Can you?
Yes, I
yeah,
can.
Okay. Uh, which one? Uh, anyone? Which one is from your country?
mm, Indonesian culture, clothes, right?
Yeah, just try. No, no big problem. Yeah.
Yes, clothes to
All right.
the men who wear songkok or peci, something like
So,
that, and
uh huh,
then purple clothes,
uh
and
huh,
also then girl who wear kebaya,
uh huh.
uh,
Well, what? Which color? Which color it is?
pink
Pink
color.
color. This one, right? You mean this
Yeah,
one?
yeah,
Okay. All right. So you are saying that this uh, pair is your Indonesian, right? This bird is Indonesian. Okay, nice. How about Thai? How about Thai? Which one do you think that is Thailand?
The fourth at the first line.
The fourth, right? The four at
Yes.
the first line. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me put sorry. Let me put on this. Very good. I think you're doing very good. But let's see whether it is correct or not. Okay. Anyone have any comments? Anyone think differently and choose different pair? Anyone? มีใครเลือกเป็นอย่างอื่นไหมครับ Hadi.
I think the number 2 in left set is closest to Philippines clothes.
Okay, this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this one. If you think that this might be Philippine, right?
Yes, Philippines.
Okay, nice. Okay. So now we have Philippines and Thailand, Indonesia already. Okay, so that's great that you are selecting this. Yeah. So the correct answer is yes. You are selecting correctly. That one is Indonesian and the other is Thai. How can you decide that correct answer? From what things that help you decide? Why can you choose that one is Thai, not other? Why you choose that one is Indonesian, not other?
I think it's from the clothes, sir.
Okay, nice. Yeah, from clothes, right? How we dress, right? That's great. But the thing would be very different if we are looking for the rest, right? Looking at the rest of the picture. I think that it would be more challenging to you, right? When you are choosing your own country. Is that the case? Is that? So when you're choosing your own country, it's very easy task, right? You can, easily identify the thing that is very common in your daily life, right? The thing that you are often relate to when you are living, studying, going outside. But when you look at the rest of the picture, right, you have no relation, right? You cannot relate yourself with those picture, right? So that is culture is about. When you cannot relate it to something, it cannot be your culture. And when you related yourself to that thing, it is the culture. The culture that we related, it will define how you dressing, how we behave with each other, and how we have belief and values, and how we structure, organize our family, our province, our societies, and our country, right? So that is the message that I wanted to help you understand better about culture. All right. Okay. I think that is about the definition. Any other have any comments? We might have some quick break for 2 or 3 minutes before we are moving to the next session.
May I ask something?
Sure.
Yes. So actually, I'm still confused. Which is the right one? Culture forms the society, or the society forms the culture? Because if we are talking about the cultures from the society, it may be like the family give us identity. It's society from the culture. We have our culture from our parents. But if the case is, we know that culture is dynamic, right? So society itself change the culture itself. So the simple question is, which is the right one? Cultures forms the society, or the society forms the cultures?
Okay, nice. Yeah, it's a very interesting question. we are talking about how we define cultures. What does it look like? And what you are asking is how cultures influence, right? With or interact with society. Yeah, it is two different things, right? It is on the one side it's culture, on the other side is society. You are trying to understand how cultures interact with society, right? How culture impact or influence society, or how or whether society impacts on culture, create culture, right? Something like that. Um, my answer is these are two things. Okay, the first, these are two things. Society is the thing that we are coming together to make it a a bigger one that we are a member of. Okay, it means that the size of the people, the num it society means uh, many people, a large number of people. But culture is not about quantity, it's not about number. Okay, it's not about number. It is about something glue us together, something uh, help us stick together, stay together, right? It means that culture is part of society, is one part of society. Okay, it is not mean, it doesn't mean that society created culture or not. Society is a combination of people, so people can create culture. It also means that society can create culture as well. Okay, that is the question about how whether society create culture or not. And for the other side, whether culture influence society or create something of the society. Of course, culture influence society as well, because culture is something member of the society relate to each other, right? And when they are relate to something, they are that thing have a lot of influence on how member behave, right? And when that thing change, it also changes the member behave to each other. It also changes the member belief and their values in daily life, right? For example, right? Society means Indonesian is a society, right? Indonesia is a society, and culture is something that Indonesian society has in common, right? It's not the society itself. Okay, for example, uh, Indonesians believe in Islam, right? So Islam is culture, while Indonesian country is society. Okay, so when you can now ask the question, and you can now see the how Islam affects Indonesian as a country, and how Indonesian as a country affect Islam as a belief of Indonesian people, right? So if you have this example, I think you can understand better, right? How it they relate to each other now. Okay, thank you. That's a good question. Right. Uh, we have just got 2 or 3 minutes, right, for a break. In the meantime, if you want to go to the toilet, or yeah, you can go for a quick break. Yeah, feel free to do so. Okay. Ah, okay. So I will have some more 1 or 2 minutes for a Thai student if they have any question. Okay. Now for now you can put any number into the color cup, right? I put the links on the chat box so that you can just click on that and just give any number that you think that you understand. Yeah, how I explain, how much you understand. Okay.
โอเคสำหรับเพื่อนคนไทยนะเราพอเข้าใจใช่ไหมฮะพอเข้าใจไหมครับว่าสิ่งที่อาจารย์อธิบายคืออะไรใช่ไหมฮะเราให้คำนิยามกับคำว่าวัฒนธรรมนะครับคืออะไรนะวัฒนธรรมคือสิ่งที่ช่วยเราเนี่ยเชื่อมโยงกับเพื่อนคนอื่นๆที่มีวัฒนธรรมเดียวกันนะฮะสิ่งที่ช่วยเราเนี่ยรู้สึกว่าเรามีอะไรบางอย่างเหมือนกันนะฮะมีอะไรบางอย่างเหมือนกันเมื่อเรามองอะไรบางอย่างแล้วเนี่ยเรานึกถึงกันนะฮะนึกถึงกันว่าใช่เราเป็นกลุ่มเดียวกันนะฮะเป็นประเทศเดียวกันเป็นคนที่มีวัฒนธรรมเดียวกันนั่นแหละก็คือวัฒนธรรมนะครับวัฒนธรรมก็จะทำให้เราเนี่ยช่วยเราเนี่ยสร้างสังคมของเราใช่ไหมฮะช่วยเราเนี่ยบริหารจัดการแล้วก็เรียงลำดับแบ่งเนี่ยภาระหน้าที่ของคนในครอบครัวใช่ไหมฮะแบ่งภาระหน้าที่ของคนในชาติในสังคมที่มีวัฒนธรรมเดียวกันนะฮะก็จะมีสิ่งนั้นเป็นสิ่งที่ประเด็นที่สองประเด็นที่สามคือว่าวัฒนธรรมเนี่ยเป็นสิ่งที่ส่งผลกระทบต่อการที่เรากระทำระหว่างกันแล้วก็เป็นการที่เราจะปฏิบัติกับเพื่อนที่ไม่ใช่มีวัฒนธรรมเดียวกันไม่มีวัฒนธรรมเดียวกันสิ่งที่เราเนี่ยจะคุยกับเพื่อนที่เป็นคนไทยเดียวกันกับสิ่งที่เราจะคุยกับเพื่อนที่เป็นคนอินโดนีเซียเนี่ยไม่เหมือนกันใช่ไหมฮะก็จะทำให้วัฒนธรรมน่ะเป็นตัวที่ทำให้เราเนี่ยมีพฤติกรรมไม่เหมือนกันอย่างนั้นนั่นเองนะครับแล้วก็ประเด็นที่สามคือวัฒนธรรมเป็นสิ่งที่เราเป็นเรื่องเป็นสิ่งที่ได้รับการสืบทอดนะฮะแล้วก็สืบเนื่องต่อไปหมายความว่าไงครับหมายความว่าเราเกิดมาแล้วเราได้รับเรื่องวัฒนธรรมคุณค่าหรือว่าสิ่งที่เรียกว่าขนบธรรมเนียมเนี่ยของในด้านวัฒนธรรมเนี่ยจากพ่อแม่จากปู่ย่าตายายมานะฮะรุ่นก่อนหน้านี้มาแล้วมันไม่ใช่ว่าเราเกิดมาวัฒนธรรมถึงจะเกิดขึ้นแต่มาก่อนหน้านี้แล้วเราก็รับมาจากเขาแล้วเราก็สานต่อเราก็พัฒนาต่อเราก็ใช้ต่อทุกวันแล้วก็ส่งต่อให้ลูกหลานเราอันนั้นแหละมันเป็นสิ่งที่เรียกว่าบทเรียนชีวิตนะที่เราได้รับจากรุ่นก่อนหน้าแล้วก็ใช้ในทุกวันแล้วก็สืบทอดส่งต่อให้รุ่นหลังๆนะฮะก็คือวัฒนธรรมนั่นเองนะครับโอเคนะครับครับ
วัฒนธรรมกับไอตัวประเพณีนี้มันคืออันเดียวกันไหมคะ
โอเคคำถามดีมากวัฒนธรรมกับประเพณีคือประเพณีเนี่ยเป็นปัจจัยหนึ่งของวัฒนธรรมนะหรือว่าสิ่งหนึ่งที่เป็นการสะท้อนถึงวัฒนธรรมนะวัฒนธรรมเป็นอะไรที่ยิ่งใหญ่มากกว่านั้นอะไรที่ร่วมถึงขนบธรรมเนียมด้วยนะครับ
แต่ไอตัววัฒนธรรมมันสามารถเปลี่ยนไปได้ตลอด
ถูกต้องใช่ถูกต้องเปลี่ยนแปลงเป็นไปได้ตลอด
ถ้าสมมติว่ารุ่นแม่เราเป็นแบบนี้แต่พอมันส่งมาถึงรุ่นเรามันก็อาจจะเปลี่ยนไปตามยุคสมัยนั้นได้ใช่ไหม
มันมีการเปลี่ยน
ขนาดนั้น
ใช่มันมีการเปลี่ยนแปลงแต่มันมีแพทเทิร์นมันมีอะไรที่ยังคงอยู่นะมันไม่ได้เปลี่ยนแปลงแบบพลิกไปเลยเข้าใจไหมฮะอันนั้นไม่ใช่วัฒนธรรมแล้วอะไรที่แบบว่าผ่านมาอีกรุ่นหนึ่งแล้วมันพลิกไปเลยมันไม่เหมือนเดิมแล้วก็ไม่ใช่นะอะไรที่มันต้องยังคงอยู่นะสมมุติว่าคุณยังกินส้มตำเหมือนอดีตไหมใช่ไหมที่ปู่ย่าตายายคุณกินนั่นแหละคือวัฒนธรรมแต่ถ้าแบบว่าคุณกินแมคโดนัลล์แล้วคุณบอกว่าอันนี้ไม่เป็นวัฒนธรรมไทยแล้วเพราะว่าเนี่ยร้านนี้มันตั้งอยู่ที่ไทยไม่ใช่ถูกต้องไหมฮะอะไรที่มาแล้วเปลี่ยนแต่ไม่ได้เปลี่ยนพลิกไปเลยนั่นแหละยังเป็นวัฒนธรรมนะครับโอเคนะครับโอเคมีคำถามอะไรอีกไหมครับไม่งั้นเดี๋ยวอาจารย์จะต่อนะครับเป็นภาษาอังกฤษนะครับ Okay, so yeah, we have some breaks and now for some question as well. And now we are moving to the next thing. Okay, so please during the time, yes, as I said, put your number in column H, right? Week 2 that we are studying right now. Right, so now we are moving to the next things. You're still seeing my slide, right? You're still in. right? Are you? Oh no, let me share with you again. Okay, now you can see, right? You can see my slide. Okay, right. So there are many kinds of culture, right? And from your question, what I can see is that your question is about culture and type of culture. Now we move to the second question that your answer, right? What are different types of culture? People say popular culture, right? Others say national, tribes, groups. Okay, that's good. Others say language, music, clothes, how we speak, right? Others say national, subculture. All right, that's nice. Others say material culture and psychological culture. All right, that's good. Food culture, dress culture, lana culture. All right. Uh-huh. That's good. That's interesting. So for those who say that material cultures and non-material culture, yeah, that is one of the things. That is valid argument. That is valid argument. That is about the type of culture that you are that we might think of. But in this lesson, what I wanted to devise cultures in terms of types is this one. Um, the cultures have microculture, macroculture, front stage culture, backstage culture, low tech context culture, and high context culture. Okay, these are some types of culture that we need to keep in mind, especially when we are uh, having cross culture communication. Okay, your answers about what type of culture are not wrong. Okay, are not wrong, but you are seeing from different aspect of culture, right? You are seeing, for example, some friends say that it is a popular culture. Yeah, it means about the characteristics, right, of what kind of culture we are looking at. It might be pop culture or traditional culture. But what I want you to remember after this lesson is this type of culture: microculture, macroculture, front stage culture, backstage culture, low tech contact culture, and high contact culture. What does it mean? Now we are going to get some understand about this now. Okay, and this is how we define. Okay, macro cultures means that group of people forming one large society. Okay, it comes from the word macro, right? Macro means large. Okay, while micro means small. Okay, as simple as that. Macro culture means a large culture. A large culture means what? Means that groups of people staying together, coming together, okay, and create one big society that have a large culture value together. Okay, that is macro one. And micro cultures mean, or subcultures, right? Means that a small culture inside a big one, or inside a large society, right? It means that microcultures are culture where groups of people possessing characteristic traits that set apart and distinguish them from others within a larger society. Okay, so I would give a very easy example for you to understand. Macrocultures in Indonesia is Indonesian culture in general, right? Something like the thing that like soto ayam that you are eating every day, or me Indo that Indomie that you're eating everywhere in Indonesia. Okay, but microculture in Indonesia is something that is only eaten in one place, right? What you call khas, right? Khas makanan, or something like that, or what you call like in Aceh they eat something, but in other place you do not see it often. Other people do not eat that kind of food. Okay, that is macroculture versus microculture. Okay, another example is that in Thailand, right? In Thailand, about food as well, a very easy example for you. So in Thailand, there are Isan food, right? And there are uh, what we call Pak Thai food, right? อาหารปักใต้กับอาหารอีสาน so you have something like Thai food, and you also have Isan food, right? Northern food or southern food. So the macroculture mean Thai food, okay? Why microculture mean อีสาน food, okay? หรือว่าอาหารอีสานนะฮะเข้าใจง่ายๆนะฮะ macroculture mean อะไรที่เป็นสิ่งที่ร่วมกันของคนทั้งชาตินะฮะส่วน microculture mean สิ่งที่มีเฉพาะพื้นที่นะฮะโดยที่เพื่อนรวมชาติที่อื่นไม่มีนะครับไม่ค่อยใช้กันนะฮะ okay, as simple as that, macroculture and microculture. The second thing that difference, right, that help you different Isan people from southern people, right, from other people in the same country. The second thing is front stage culture and backstage culture, right? Front stage culture means cultural information that you are willing to share with outsider, okay? That you want to share with outsider, okay? And backstage culture means that culture information that is concealed from outsider, okay? From the outsider. What it means is that what you want to show other people, it is front stage culture. But what you are trying to hide from other people, that is backstage culture, right? You want it or you do not intend to hide it. It also called backstage culture, okay? That you people cannot see, right? Simply as that. Put it simply, the culture characteristic that people cannot see from you when you are having communication with other people. It is backstage culture, right? And front stage culture mean the thing that people can see from that. It is front page culture. Okay. All right. We are here. So how you can understand this? Let me put this picture for you. It is Johari window. It is Johari window. And I think from this one, you can see it very easy, yeah, for you to understand, right? You can see this, right? It is a window. It looks like a window, right? With four parts, right? With four parts. And there, each part has a different meaning. It can divide vertically between things you know and things you don't know. So the column means things you know, and the other column, the second column, things you don't know. Yeah, the part that you don't know yourself have, and the part that you think you already know that yourself have. Okay, and the horizontal or the row, right? You can see things others know about you. And the second row is things others don't know you have. Okay, so when you combine between column and row together, you will see yourself in four parts. You are look like a window. Okay, you look like a window yourself, right? Yourself look like a window. For the first part, it is a combination between things you know and things other knows. It means that you know that you have it, and other also see that you have it. That is the culture that is called front stage culture. The thing that you see and other also see you have, right? For example, you student, Indonesian student, right? When you are like a female, when you're wearing, the hijab, right? The traditional like Islamic tradition dress. When you are meeting your Thai friend, right? That is Buddhist. So they can realize that, yeah, you are Muslim and you are Indonesian. I can guess from what you dress, right? And you also know yourself that, yeah, I'm Muslim and I'm from Indonesia because of how I dress, right? That is front stage culture, or what we call that. What is behind? What is in front that everyone can see? You can see, other can see, right? That is front stage. The second thing that in the right part, upper right part, blind spot, right? Or things you don't know, but things other knows, right? So for the upper row, things other know, it is front stage because people can see it, people can realize it. When you are walking out, people know that you're Indonesian. So that is front stage. You don't have to say anything, but they know that you're from Indonesia. So right now you know that is front stage culture. When they just look at the front and they see the culture, it means that front stage culture. But when you walk down, they don't know you're from Indonesia or Malaysia or Brunei or somewhere else. That is backstage, right? That they cannot see. But if they don't know, but you know, right? It is still front stage. It is still front stage. Now it's more complicated, right? People look at you and they don't know that you are Indonesian, but yourself realize that you are Indonesian yourself from the way you dress, from the way you eat, everything. That is still front stage. But the thing that people don't know and you don't know, and you don't know as well, right? That is backstage. That is backstage one. That is not seen. You cannot see that culture, and the people, other people cannot see that as well. That is backstage. That is at the back. No one see, right? Most of the case. So, in most of the case, it is not very clearly defined, right? You cannot clearly define what is you know and what is people know but you don't know. But basically, front stage culture mean that what you can see from the front, right? From the outside. And backstage culture mean what you cannot see from the outside, right? Even it is yourself or it is your friends. A different culture, okay? Front stage and backstage culture, right? So that is two things that I wanted you to know. And for the third thing, it is about high stake culture and lower stakes culture. We are having um, a video to look at it, but we have only 5 minutes left, so it might be used for the next time. But let's take an example, right? We can see from this example so that you can see it clearly. Between US culture and Chinese culture, right? They have a lower tech culture and high tech culture. What does it mean? It means that it look from the context, from where you are communicating, right? If you are communicating in China, that is different from you are communicating in the US. The culture is different between you when you are communicating in Indonesia or when you are communicating in Thailand. What is low text and high text? Lower text context mean you mean what you say. You mean what you say. But for high context culture, you mean not just by what you say. Okay? It's as simple as that. You mean what you say. It is low context culture. You mean not only from what you say, but from other things as well. For example, Chinese people, right? When you are talking with each other, sometimes they don't really show like disagreement, right? Like many other Asian people, when you are felt like you don't like talking with these people, but you're trying to, be friends, right? Trying to show your friendliness. You don't wanna to, let people, the other people, um, feel like you are dislike these people, something like that, right? You don't want to show it directly, right? When in the US, right, people can say directly to that person that I don't like you. I want to I want to go. But for Asian countries, right, mostly, or in China in particularly, when you don't like that people, they might not often speak directly that I don't like you. I don't like you, right? They might not speak that way. They would just like behave different way, like they keep silent, right? They just don't say anything, but they still stay in the group, right? They still sitting there, but they don't say anything, or they just like say yes or no. Yeah, when yeah, they are talking with each other, right? That is high context language, right? People don't mean what they do, don't mean what they say. Why in low context mean that people mean what they say. People mean what they do. What they do is what they think. What they do is what they want to show. But in high context, mean that no, I do this thing, but I mean differently. you know, that is that is a difficult thing for many uh, U.S. American people, right? When they are moving into Asia, they find it very difficult to understand why and how we can, maintain relationship with each other, right? We do not mean what we do. We do not mean what we say, right? In some case, right? When we feel very embarrassed, but we're trying to smile, right? We're trying to get into the group. We're trying to, try our best. We say that, yeah, I understand, but in fact, I don't understand, right? That is how Asian often do. But in US, they would say, no, what are you talking about? I don't understand. Can you explain it again to me? That is what they often say, right? So they are mostly low context people, while Asian are more like high context people, right? We do not often mean what we do. So I think that for today's lesson, you might understand more about culture, right? More about yourself, right? Okay. So we are running out of time. So for student that you need to go to the next class, yeah, now you are the time for you. It is time for you to leave the class. And for the rest, I will continue because we still have some times and we are trying to save value our time as much as possible. Well, that is all of the things that we are discussing for today and for the week 2 that we have. It's about definition, about key concept that you must understand, right? Before we are moving to the next week that we'll understand more about other things. So in summary, we need to understand, you need to understand about the definition of communication, right? What it is and uh, what is the process it has, right? and also the different process, right? Like what is the source, what is the encoding process, what is the message, what is the channel, what is the receiver, what is the decoding process, what is feedback, and what is noise, right? When you're communicating, it doesn't mean that you are talking in a very quiet place. There are also noise, not only the real noise that you heard from a bird singing, right, or from a machine just roaring, but also from something like cultural noise. Cultural noise means what? When you're talking with your friends and then you're hearing a national anthem, what do you think, right? When you're hearing national anthem, when you are talking with a foreigner, what would you behave? It would cause some noise. It would cause something change the way you behave, right? For example, for Thai people, at 6 o'clock every day, they would play the national anthem. They would play the national song. And at that time, when you come to Thailand at 6 p.m. and the national anthem played, you see everyone around you stand still. Stand still. Yeah. And how you behave in that case, right? When you're talking with your friends, like Vita talking with Fadlina at 6 p.m., I mean 5:59. And then suddenly, 1 minute later, Fadlila stands still. When Vita is still talking and see your friends, what? You are stand still. What do you behave in the case of Vita, right? You would just like, you have to like, at first you might be very surprised, right? And you don't know what to do now, right? But you have to observe other people and you might try to find a way to adapt to, right? That is noise. That is noise. So noise is not about the noise that you hear, but the noise from culture, the noise from the context, from the surrounding that you receive, that all of us might be affected. Okay, that is about it. And secondly, about the characteristic of communication, we didn't have much time to discuss about this, but I would just give you a very brief look back so that you can understand. Communication is a dynamic process. It means that it is a process with many steps to take, and it is a dynamic because it is changing. It is simultaneously. It happened on and on and on and on without stopping. Okay, it's a dynamic one, and it is happen between receiver and sender, right? The sending message and receiver sending message as well. Receiver receiving message and also sending message as well. Sender sending message and also receiving message as well at the same time, right? It is dynamic process. Second, communication is symbolic. It means communication need to use symbol to express out, right? Two people cannot show your thinking. You cannot uh, pick your thinking out of your head by hand, right? You cannot pick your thinking, your thoughts from your brain out to show your friends. You need something what we call symbol. Symbol mean language, right? Thing, objects, so that you can show picture, right? You can show your friend that what you mean, what you think, right? What you think in your mind via language, via what you say, via what you think. Okay, what we behave, what we use hand, what we use writing, what we use like other kind of symbol. So it can be verbal symbol or non-verbal symbol, right? Verbal symbol mean speaking, writing, when non-verbal symbol mean other things than speaking and writing. Okay, about what you use, what it means verbal, but when you don't use what, you don't use written language to get your friend understand. It means non-verbal. Non-verbal mean what? Mean your action, right? How you act is also kind of non-verbal. And silence. Silence also non-verbal. You don't speak anything. You just keep silent. I don't like you, so I keep silent. Yeah, it is non-verbal. So when you keep silent, the U.S. your American people might not understand what you're doing there. Just keep silent without giving any opinion. I don't know. She's just like shy or something. But for Asian people, right? People might understand that. Okay, she might not very comfortable. She might feel very, she doesn't like this place. She doesn't want to join and be part of our group. Communication is contextual. It means that it will be different in different culture. As simple as that. It means that culture is different when it is in different places. You are behaving differently when you are at home. You are behaving in different way in your workplace. You are behaving differently at the university, right? You are the same people. You are the same person, the same one, but you behave differently in different places, right? That is what we call culture is contextual. And also, you are behaving differently when you are talking with one person. But when there are more people, you might behave differently as well. Easy thing like that. When you're talking to your close friend, right? How do you behave? Think about that. And when you're talking with a stranger, how do you feel? Right? And when you are talking with one close friend, how do you behave? And in compare with when you are talking with many close friends, how do you behave? Do you behave the same way or do you behave differently? You are speaking in front of the mirror every day in the morning. And when you are speaking in front of the public, in front of the class with many people in front of you, how do you behave? Right? When you are looking at the mirror, right? What do you behave? You can behave whatever you want. You see it at yourself, right? No one is in front of you. You feel very comfortable. You want to be, you behave naturally, and you even behave very peculiar, weird in your way because no one knows, right? You behave the same way. But you are not behaving the same way when you are speaking in the public, when you are giving a presentation before many people, right? You feel very shy, you're very nervous. You might, you cannot speak correctly, or you cannot, express yourself confidently, or something like that, right? That also same kind. And also supposing that you are speaking in front of close friend, or you are speaking in front of an employer, right? You are talking in a meal with your friends, and when you are answering job interview with a company manager, right? it would You would behave differently, right? That is how uh, contextual the culture is, right? And the other thing is communication is self-reflective. It means that you are talking with yourself all the time while you are exchanging message with other people. It's mean that when you are talking with your friend, you are also always keep in mind that what your friend feels and thinking, what your friend feeling and thinking before you are sending the next message, right? When you're talking the next sentence, you also thinking about the previous sentence, right? What you are do, what you did, and what your friend feel, what your friend did before you choose the next sentence, the next behavior, right? If you are seeing your friends are not very, satisfying, she's look very sad, right? You are not going to, tell her a humor, right? You're not going to, tease her, or you're not going to, making joke of her, right? You would say something like more consoling, something more like sympathy with her, right? Something like that, to share compassion, something like that. Okay, that is how we reflecting, and that is the characteristic of self-reflectiveness of communication, right? And the last characteristic of communication is irreversible. It means that one a message is sent, no way to get it back. Okay, one you say something, you cannot get it back again. It's already done, and you have to face that the consequence that it brings about, or the good thing that it comes to you. So be careful, right? Be mindful that communication between you is always continuously, that you're reflecting yourself, that you behaving your friend, but keep in mind that when you speak out, you're not going to get it back again. So that's why we are joining cross culture would be more difficult, because it is from with different people from different cultures. And when you speak something out that you are felt not very okay, it will be more impact, right? For different culture. Okay, that's about culture, and that is about what we are talking for today. And um, regarding others concept, you can read at this one, and you can read in the material that I tell you. Okay, we might looking at it very briefly in the next session, but please be prepared yourself with this. Like what is acculturation? What is cultural intelligence? Cultural communication barrier, right? We know that cultural symbol already. What is diffusion, enculturation, right? Ethnocentrism, that is important thing. Um, what else? Intercultural communication, right? And mindsets, norms, roles, rules, wealth, and work culture. Yeah, that is some of the concept that you should also know when studying cross culture communication. So for today, thank you for your attention, and I hope that you got a lot of things to learn and to in your real life. And yeah, so that you can prepare for the next weekly report. Okay, I'm very satisfied with how you submit your homework and weekly report. Uh, uh, I would like to spend maybe about 1 or 2 minutes for reviewing your homework and weekly report, so that you can improve for the next time. Um, in general, I'm satisfied with what you're doing. You are on time, and you are very active during class, and also during submitting your assignment. Okay. Regarding the homework, I believe that I have made most of the correction. So I hope you learn from that and trying to improve in the next one, right? Before, I just want to keep in mind, before you are writing the next homework, right? Please look at what you have submitted, because there are some correction that I have made to you. And please do not make the same mistake again in the next submission. Okay? Try to keep note down, right? Every mistake you made, and try to take lists every time when you're writing the next one and submit to me. Make sure that you are not making the same mistake, and you will enhance yourself. You improve your language, the way you write about one topic. Okay, that is the first advice I give to you. And the second thing about the what we call the weekly report. Okay, I received some of your submission. Okay, from Pianut, Fatima, Rizki. Okay, and also Margareta, um, uh, Tasia, Asutik, Arya Ninda. Okay, Vita and Lalita, uh, Aska as well. Adi, Tawanchai, Fatlina, Supanit, Wanwisa. Okay. Okay. That is some of the weekly reports I have already received. And for other, if you do not submit yet, feel free to submit within today. Okay. So that you can have the highest point for 1 week. Okay. And for other, at least you are have a chance to have the highest score. But let's see the content as well. Now I come to the content as an example so that you can improve for the next time. Okay. Regarding for the formats, yeah, okay, you are making a good one. I just want to give one comment first for Aska. Okay, for Aska, I will comment in your writing later, but please make sure that you are writing an essay, not just copying, right, sentence into the report. Okay, trying to write by yourself, right, not just copying the sentence or the whole part and without explaining anything. Okay, because when you are just giving that something from someone else and you are giving no opinion, it doesn't make sense, right? Everyone know that. No need to just copying in without explaining. You have to, in the report you need to copy, we need to citing it in, and then you need to explain it as well, right? Why you choose this, not other? What does it mean by putting this here, right? What is it relate to the topic that you selected, yeah, to make a report to me? Okay, that is what I want to know. So if you don't do that, you might not have a high score, right, than other. So that is what I want to show you. uh, I will share you that one so that you can understand what I'm saying better. Okay, let's see. Just one part, right? Um, it doesn't mean that you are not good. Okay, it doesn't mean you're not good or your writing is not good, but it doesn't really make sense to me. Why you put it right in the writing, right? Like this, right? Um, I just wanted to add for other to know to learn as well. But beside you, like this, right? You're just putting many concept here. In report, please just making like this one, right? Like the later part of your writing, trying to explain, trying to write in sentence, right? Trying to divide in parts, and each part has some topic or some message that you want to let me know, okay, about the topic, not just citing like this that I don't know what do you mean, right? By citing many things, right? You have to explain to me why do you put it here? What does it mean, right? That is okay. The first one, okay. All right. But for the later part, yeah, that's great. I think you are analyzed very good. That you give an example, right, as a conversation, and then you explain that, yeah, who is the sender and who is the receiver and what is the procedure. That's very nice. Yeah, that is a good observation, right? And then you also infer about it from the conversation above. We know that the purpose of the communication is understanding each other. Yeah. So you make some inference from your example, and that is a good thing. That's a good thing to me. So it's just only the first part that problem. That is the problem. But for the later part, yeah, that's good. I like it, and that is what I expect you to do, so people can learn, other friends can learn from that. Okay, that's one thing from Aska. And for other as well, let me look at this. For Vita and Lalita, I think, yeah, you are doing good. Just some thing that I might have a quick comment here is that trying to make the format the same way. Okay, trying to make the format the same way. As you can, if you look at this at your paper here, now I'll show it to you. You can see the format is not the same way. Yeah, in the second and the third paragraph, you are not indent your paragraph, right? So make it the same way, right? Format it the same way so that it can be very neatly, right? When you're reading one essay with a good formatting, you have a good impression on the writing, even though you do not really start reading it. But when you look at the appearance, right? You are organizing and you are expressing your idea orderly in a good order, you might have a positive point, right? That is what I meant. Okay, and okay, you can let me know by color like this. It'll be okay, or you can just citing. Yeah, you can put citing at the end of each part that the name of the person. That right? It will be also fine. Some quick comments, right? And for who else? Tasia, Asutik, and Arianida. Okay, you have a good format. That's good point. Okay, that's very good. And also a very good writing. Yeah. Yeah. I think you guys can also learn from Tasnia, Asutik, and Arininda. Okay. Good kind of formatting. Yeah, I think you can learn from this group, right? There's a topic, right? You need to address what is the topic, right? What you're talking about, what are you going to talking about, the topic of your writing, and then you're going into the content, right? You come with the definition, okay, that's fine. And then uh, we know that communication, yeah, you're trying to you know uh, expand or explain what the definition is. That's good. That's what I expect from you. And what else? And then characteristic. Okay, yeah, you also mentioned about that. Okay, but this is I believe that it's mostly from my document. So trying to give your opinion as well. Okay, trying to provide explanation by yourself, right? You can base on what I provided from what the author or what other books provided, but trying to make it yourself. Okay, so that you can improve your writing first, and second, you can enhance analytical thinking and writing. Okay, right. And other parts, it was good. You are dividing into other parts, but again, trying to make sure that this is what what is your writing. This is your writing, right? Not borrowing from other. If you are borrowing from other or copying from other, please cite. Okay, please cite every sentence or every words that you borrow from other. Okay, phrase or sentence, not word. If you are borrowing, copying a lot in idea from other, please cite it, right? Don't just make it yourself when it is not. Okay, right? For the rest of I, we're not talking about the content. We're just talking about just basic things. All right. And Margareta, yeah, also good format. And I believe that each one is belong to one idea that you will want to let me know. That's good. Okay. Not much trouble, but I'll look at the content later. And for Pijanut, Fatima, and Rizki, okay. Also good. Yeah. This group is also good that they mention about what we call citation, right? You need to cite, and you can provide the what we call the list of reference at the end of your writing. That would be very good, so that
you give credit to them, to the author, and you also make your writing validable, with your writing trustable, right? What you write is what you have, and what you cite is what you learn from other. But if you don't say that you borrow from them, it means that you're trying to steal them, steal what anything from them. So let's look at this, right? Yeah, they this group this good point is that they explain very clearly that who write about what part. So Pijanut discuss about statement. It means that discuss about the concept, right? What it is, and what are the main argument, the main opinion of the group, the main topic of the group. And second, Fatima is in charge of opinion. It means that she will present to me about what the group think about the topic. Yeah, what is their analysis. Yeah, so that's good for me to follow your all writing. That's good navigation. And what else? Ritsky saying that he's doing supporting evidence. Okay, spelling is not good. Okay, here, right? Please be very careful. Supporting evidence. So it means that, yeah, I'm expecting to read about the evidence that is supporting the opinion of Fatima that related to the statement of Pianut earlier. So I think that by saying this, I can uh, I can expect a very good collaboration between the three members of this group rather than other. So yeah, trying to show me how you are dividing each member, which task, right? Which part of the writing you are doing, and how each part relate to each other. That would be a very good point for me. Okay, so that you can show me how you collaborate, how you work in team, how you divine your role, how you can do your part and help each other. Okay, and in detail, I think, yeah, you can look at it further, like, yeah, good points, and okay, citation, but try to make sure that you are not copying, right? You and also reference, as I mentioned, right? At the end of the your writing, you can put reference like this, so that I can knew that you which source, what kind of source you are studying or reading, and got the idea from. Okay, apart from what you can analyze. Okay, that is what we have today, and that is some of the feedback that I have to you, so that you can improve your writing in the next week. For next week, okay. So, did anyone have any question before we can close it up? Yeah, we have too many times over. Okay, if you don't have anything, yeah, feel free to give me any, send me any message or email if you want, yeah, for any further question or recommendation. And for today, thank you very much again, and see you in the next week. Right now, you can open your camera and say goodbye to your Thai friends and others. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Goodbye. Thank you, sir.
Bye.